So good morning and welcome to our Oliver's Mount circuit here over in Scarborough. My name's Danielle Koenig and alongside me we have Bradley Hicks.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, Danielle. I hope everybody is doing okay. What a great day it is here at Oliver's Mount for round number 6 of the British Supermoto Championship. I can't wait.
No, me neither.
Start on the circuit now. We do have one of the races, but yeah, we'll have the C, Bs and the A group as well. But it's always great to have the British Supermoto Championship here at Oliver's Mount. Of course, the circuit it's quite famous. Been going since 1946.
Yeah, you are our oracle here for Oliver's Mount, but let's take a look at our current championship standings. Our Academy Championship currently being led by the number 41 Ed Darnton on 338 points. Second place we have Archie Reynolds, third Max Rhodes, fourth Tyler Clark, and rounding out our top 5 is Cole Reynolds.
Sixth position, Josh Walker on 112 points. He is 14 up the road from Jackson Bennett. Rick Jennings is 17 behind Jackson with Ollie O'Gorman and Jackson Nuttall.
So our next championship is our novice championship, and that is being led by the number 59 of Dan Billum. So he's currently on 342 points. Second to him is the number 63 of Kevin Crowders. Then third, the newcomer Adrian Dealey. We have fourth, Dean Clark, and in fifth position we have Liam Pearson.
Next up is the Clubman Championship. 311, Jake Sayer leads the way on 293 points. Simon Burgess, number 53, is up next on 235. Chris Lambourne at 40 points behind him on 195, with Blake Wilson and Luke Armitage rounding out the top 5.
And then our highly contested Trips UK Elite Championship. That is currently being headed up by the number 74 TM Leeds UK rider Chris Hodgson, who currently holds 378 points. In second place, it's our Trips UK rider Richard Sharp there. Then third, we have the youngster Alex Melaney. Fourth place is one of the first of our fat and fast riders, Jamie Duncan, the number 7. And rounding out that top 5 is Richard Blakeman on 199 points. So we are now ready for our SuperPole, and out first should be the number 817 of Harley Sharp. If you're watching our live stream, you can see there on screen we've got our top 5 riders. We've got Hodgson, Duncan, Melaney and the 2 Sharps there, all having a quick look to see what those lap times were and how much it was between them. So there is our race director David Deard, and he's just giving the riders a little bit of input on how they're going to take their outing lap so they can then get onto their flyer. So we'll just wait for these riders to get themselves all sorted, but like we say, it should be the 817 of Harley Sharp making his way out onto the circuit first of all. So he'll get the first opportunity to try and improve that best lap time that he did in our qualifying session. So his best lap time was a 111.781. So about 3/100ths of a second off Dad 217 Richard Sharp. So we'll see if he can best that. The advantage with SuperPole is the riders do get completely clear track. They don't have to worry about traffic, so they're one of the only bikes on the circuit at the time. But that can also have its disadvantages, so it's quite a lot of pressure to know that this is your last opportunity to try to do a flying lap. So we'll have to see if the 817 of Harley Sharp's able to handle the pressure as he there gets his goggles on and gets ready to make his way back out onto the circuit, Brad.
The pressure's really on in these SuperPole sessions, isn't it? I mean, one slight mistake and that can cost you dearly. You can either be on for a, front row, or that slight mistake can see you go back down to 5th position. It really is all to play for as the 817 of Harley Sharp heads out of the paddock then, who will be taken to the circuit in just a moment time. But a 111.7 is the benchmark that he has set personally in that practice qualifying session just a moment ago.
Yeah, so it's all down to the rider now. And another thing to also mention, they won't have a tow from anyone. So if they were out there chasing down maybe his dad, they won't have that tow. But here he goes, flying lap across the start finish, and we'll see him now make his way down into mere hairpin, just past those blue barriers, hard on the brakes there, and we can see there's all that rubber that's been laid down from the backing in we've had over this weekend so far. then it's hard onto the brakes to then make your way up this really tricky banking section, and then hard on the power as you head into this infield section.
Yeah, through the left there you can see the lines from where the rear wheel's been skittering around are hard on the brakes, but through the right-hander, and he's looking good at the moment, looking smooth, is the 817 of Harley Sharp behind the control tower, heading behind the house as well. And then we're heading in towards the dirt section.
Yep, so Harley got a good off-road background here, so he'll be loving this off-road that we've got here at Oliver's Mount, making his way through this really tricky split section we have. So down round that inside berm and then getting the power down up our Bathmate step up before he then rejoins back onto this tricky tarmac section, and absolutely sideways there on that Trips KTM as he's then hard on the power into Farm Bends.
That's so difficult there, isn't it, on the dirt section of it's being dragged onto the circuit. The power's down now on the exit of Farm Bends. He's crossed the line now, and his effort there, a 111.736 for Harley Sharp.
Yeah, but you can't be disappointed with that one. That was a great lap put together, and I think it's fair to say these Sharp riders have got styles for miles as they came out of that off-road absolutely sideways. But it is now Dad's turn to take SuperPole, and he backs it in to mere hairpin, coming down our start-finish straight, and then we'll catch him here back as he makes his way into our paddock section.
A lot of experience and a lot of skill there for the 217 of Richard Sharp, isn't it? As he just makes his way over this step up onto the upper half of the paddock. It looks like it may have cost him a 100th or a 10th or so as he slides his way through the left in the middle of this paddock section, now back over to the right-hand side. And he's certainly pressing on. You can really see him trying to muscle that machine around as he goes behind the control tower and behind the house once more, heading in towards the dirt section towards the end of his SuperPole lap.
Yep, another rider that will be loving this off-road section. Richard Sharp makes his way over that big step up we've got here and then through this loose section. So again, opting for that outside to inside line with the inside burn there holding really well and able to get the power down on that 450. Up the Bathmate step up and back out onto the tarmac, and less dramatics there from senior Mr. Sharp, and he manages to get the power down into Farm Bends, hugging that curve back out onto our start-finish straight to try and get the power down as he heads across the start-finish.
There we go, he is across the line with Richard Sharp, then a 1 minute 12.525, so that little mistake within the paddock section did cost him dearly. 0.8 of a second by the end of that SuperPole lap, and we're looking now at the number 7 of Jamie Duncan as he starts his SuperPole lap.
So it is the fat and fast rider number 7 of Jamie Duncan as he heads down the start-finish straight. Not backing it in ever so much there, round those blue barriers and then tight, hugging this corner as he makes his way through to this paddock section, and we'll see him hop up onto this quite rough, gravelly section, and a lot tighter there than the 217 of Richard Sharp. And then it is this tricky left, right, ooh, little bobble there from the 7 of Jamie Duncan, trying to get the power down on that KTM.
Behind the control tower once more, up through the gearbox before hitting the brakes and slithering his way in towards the dirt section there. We can see the black lines being left from the previous event. So through that berm then, and then over this big jump there. Jamie Duncan so stylish as he goes for the inside for the outside line. So slightly different to Richard and Harley Sharp there for Jamie Duncan. High up on the berm, but over the Bathmate step up now, and I reckon he's made up a 10th or so as he gets the power down on the exit and back onto the tarmac.
Yeah, he absolutely sent it up our Bathmate step up there, so that's the most airtime we've seen so far. Not quite as close to that inside curve there as he was on the previous lap, but then he comes across the line, and it is Jamie Duncan that manages a 112.083, so that provisionally pops him in second place behind the Trips UK rider Harley Sharp, who holds pole for the time being, so he wasn't able to improve on his qualifying lap. But it is number 100 of Alex Melaney now that takes to the track.
Certainly is. He's across the line, and the time has started now for the number 100 of Alex Melaney, the Automotive Solutions rider, as he backs his way in towards mere hairpin, flicks it to the right-hand side around that blue barrier and through in towards the paddock section now. So they start on the lower half of the paddock, as you can see, as they now step up onto the upper half of the paddock, flick it left through the gates and on towards this difficult 180-degree left-hander, which immediately brings you into a 180-degree right-hander. So you really do have to thread the eye of the needle there to make up time.
Yeah, watching Alex's riding style there, keeping the feet on the pegs, and he was able to get the power down really well, especially on that quite loose, gravelly part where they rejoin into the paddock section. But he now joins us over that first big tabletop, that that we have in our off-road section, and he opts for the same line as Mr. Duncan, taking the inside to outside line, and we'll see him now send it up the Bathmate, step up, and very nicely done. That inside leg off, trying to make sure that he doesn't lose the front on that really loose, dusty section as he rejoins the tarmac.
Through farm bends, only a couple more corners to go. Flick it over to the right. Safe to say that it's very steep uphill right-hander as he drives for the line now. Checkered flag goes out for the number 100 of Alex Melaney, and it's a 1 minute 11.377, so he has provisional pole position.
But it is now time for the number 74 of Chris Hodgson to make his way out onto the circuit. So Chris managing to break through into the 1 minute 10s in the qualifying session. So at the minute it's all for him to lose. So he's currently our provisional pole sitter, but it all depends on his hot lap here in SuperPole. So we'll watch him come round now the back of the house up to farm bends and then try and get a good run onto the start of the race, setting up for a hot lap.
Even on the exit of the paddock there and onto the front straight, you can see him trying to square it off to really get the drive on that number 74 machine as he heads towards mid-hairpin now, just about locking up that rear wheel, flicking it through the left and the right. That brings him down in towards that paddock right-hander. So onto the lower paddock we go now, and looking for the line, looking for the tipping point. There he goes, stepping up onto the upper part of the paddock now, and deep into that 180-degree left now.
Absolutely no dramas there for Hodgson as he pops it straight up into our paddock section, and again getting the power down on that TM Leeds UK 450, and then heading round the back of the house as he makes his way towards our off-road section, and he's looking inch perfect at the moment.
So it seems that the best line at the moment as he goes over that big jump is the outside to inside, but this time around Chris Hodgson does take the same line as Duncan and Melaney, going for the inside then the outside, using the berm and then just sending it over the Bathmate step up before returning back onto the tarmac, and wheels pretty much in line there for the number 74 of Chris Hodgson. He's looking good at the moment with 2 more corners to go.
Yeah, Hodgson not sending it quite as far as Duncan or Melaney there, landing more on the top of that step up to get the power down. And as he comes across the line, he has managed to break into the 110s again, so taking provisional pole with a 1 minute 10.824. So it looks like that will be our front 2 rows all set and sorted for race 1 coming up a little bit later on. So on pole position, we will see the number 74 TM Leeds UK rider of Chris Hodgson taking to the front row. Alongside him, we will have the number 100 of Alex Melaney, and it will be the 817 of Harley Sharp taking a front row start for race 1. Row 2, we will then see the number 7 of Jamie Duncan, alongside him the 217 of Richard Sharp.